I'm so excited today. Ed, the pond professor, and his crew is coming down to visit Holt Nurseries. And I'm going to give them a quick tour of the nursery. I'm going to show them all my tropical fish.
I am here today at Holt's Nursery with the founder, Thomas Holt, and I am blown away. How many plants do you actually have sitting here right now?
I have 2 million plants on these benches. I have 400 benches, 6,000 plants per bench. So that would be 2.4 million if every bench was filled, but every bench is not quite filled. But I bet I have 2 million plants right now, today.
Unbelievable. When you told me that you had a large nursery operation, I had no idea the actual scale of it. Could you give me a little bit of information about what you have here?
Yes, we have 4 acres of benches. We have 428 benches.
So 4 acres under roof, 2 million plus plants that you have here. And I'm looking down this pathway. Where does this actually go, and how long does it take to actually get down there?
Okay, this path is from the mailbox to the back of the property is 1,100 feet. All the way back up here is 2,200 feet.
You could do the quarter-mile sprint in here. Not me anymore. No, that was back in the day. Back in my track days. That would be incredible. Plus, it's also like 90 and 95% humidity, so it would not be fun to go running up and down these, but I'm sure during the busy times and busy months, it's got to be just a flurry of activity, because right now this is kind of your little bit slower season this time of the year?
Yeah, so we employ 30 people here, and everyone has their own station. So we try to have everyone work horizontally and not too much vertically.
Okay. Probably wise.
We used to have an employee tell me they walked 7 miles a day.
I would believe that.
I wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not.
Then you don't have to go to the gym. I think it's actually perfect. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So we're talking about, obviously, we want to get a little bit of a tour of the facility. I also know that you have an incredible garden, because I've seen some of your videos, and you're creating like a botanical garden on the outskirts of this property.
Yes, that's correct. This is a 14-acre piece of property.
Okay.
So the nursery itself, the greenhouses encompass about 4 acres.
Okay.
And I think the garden right now is at about 7 acres.
Well, we definitely want to check that out. And I also know that you love your unique tropical fish.
Oh, yes, I do.
Where are the fish at?
The fish are in the back here. About halfway back, I'll give you a show.
I think we definitely got to take a little walk.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
So I have all these fish.
Yep.
But I start out with these aquaculture tubs. I can't see in the water.
Yeah.
I get the microalgae.
Yes.
I don't know what to do. I see ponds that are clear. I always hear about iguana land.
Yeah.
How wonderful that pond is.
Yes.
And I was wondering, this is a greenhouse. Could I ever take a portion of this greenhouse, turn it into a wetland filter, and then get some sort of a container that has an acrylic side or a glass side?
Absolutely, 100% you can. So different projects that we have at Aqualand at our office, Ohio Fish Rescue. We have stuff over at Kamp Kenan, J Prehistoric Pets. I mean, we've done some incredible stuff. A lot of them can be indoors and are indoors. So setting up here in the tropical weather that you have of Florida, I think it's an easy thing to do.
Like I said, when I just got into this hobby, I never knew I would accumulate all these fish.
That's always the way it happens. No, that's not an issue at all. So what the nice thing about the philosophy that I'm going to discuss, creating an ecosystem, I think is very important. So the wetland filter is basically, we have a couple main components. We have a pre-filter for the pump, some sort of a pre-filter, and the reason that's really important is a biological filter. They can be very finicky. They don't like sediments. So the nitrifying bacteria are going to become stressed. So we want to try to pre-filter as much of the big solids out as possible that we could remove periodically from the system. We're then going to distribute the water into a sedimentation zone. So we have a chamber down at the bottom. It's 9.5 inches tall. It's a false bottom. It's going to allow the finer sediments to precipitate out. Just to fill this section of these blocks down in the bottom, it should take between 9 and 10 minutes of flow rate. So it's actually very slow. So that's going to facilitate the further sedimentation process combined with the pre-filter. The water then flows through different layers of river rock and gravel, mimicking nature. You're located here in Central Florida, and some of the best dives and snorkeling trips I've ever done in my entire life are located probably within 50 miles of your location because of the layers of rock that you have, the underground spring system, that karst geology, water flowing through the natural rock layers is going to detoxify it. So it's going to break out, it's going to remove all types of different compounds, but we have to set up the proper flow rate. It has to be highly oxygenated, which is key, but if you have a high flow rate with really high oxygen, then it's not going to allow the sedimentation process to occur. So it's kind of a balancing act between slowing it down, but not too slow where you have a dissolved oxygen crash. The water then flows through different layers of river rock and gravel. We then will take hydroponic plants. So no soil around the roots. We're going to plant them in the gravel bed, and the root system is going to grow down into the gravel itself, and it's going to utilize all the dissolved nutrients and everything from the water, and it's going to complete the nitrification cycle, and you will have incredible water quality. Oh. Indoors, outdoors, wherever we want to put it.
Oh, that sounds great.
So what I think we need to do is start designing, and I know you mentioned something about creating a modular unit, which we can easily do for 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. You tell me how many you want to have in a modular setup, and we could design and create something from there, and then once you build one, you can build 100 of them.
Oh, sounds great.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're very welcome. So this is unbelievable. Like all of a sudden we left your greenhouse and then we enter this grand garden. I did not expect this at all. Like, what's your thought process with creating this on the nursery property?
You know, I did the nursery for years and years, and I never bought a plant ever. And when I was younger, I always dreamed about building a garden, and there was no building in the nursery itself.
Okay.
So I just started planting this just 2 or 3 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago.
Just 30 tractor trailers of palm trees.
Oh my God.
300 palm trees.
That's insane. Now I see these monstrous live oaks. So those were clearly here.
Yes, only the oaks were the only thing that was here 3 years ago.
And that creates a really unique canopy, which allows all these plants to thrive. I mean, this is like a really cool, like an understory type of an environment.
I love Blue Gardens. Yeah. That's the botanical garden here in Orlando.
Yep.
And they have all these palm trees.
Yeah.
And I see that they use the oak canopy because you can get maybe 5 or 8 extra degrees of warmth from trapping in the heat at night.
A little microclimate.
Yes,
Very unique.
I have 67 varieties of palm trees here.
That is so awesome. All right, Lionel. So this is going to take us from here. So greenhouse on one side, spectacular garden sprawling out, and then at the other end is the location where we're going to design the new recreational pond, correct?
That's correct.
Let's take a walk.
I am so excited that Aquascape is going to build a European rec pond on my property. I think the rec pond at Kamp Kenan is awesome. From what I understand, that a European rec pond uses a little more wood, a little less rock, but they're going to be very similar in design. Crystal clear water with both fish and turtles. I can't wait to see what Ed have to say. So a cool thing I have here, the sun rises right over there.
Okay.
And then the sun sets right over there. So I can come here in the morning and watch the sun rise. Yep. And then what we build in the back, I can watch the sun set.
I love it. It's going to be spectacular. All right, so Thomas, it's been fun walking around, sharing your vision with you for the past couple hours here. This is going to be the location of this new recreational pond. So I love the space. You have a lot of the big trees here. You got some of the live oaks and things. You got some of your palms around. But the main area in between where we're standing in the home is basically a blank canvas. So you gave us that the option and said, this is the space. What could we create? So my thought process right now, and again, this is coming off of some direction from Greg Woodstock, the pond guy, when he was out here with you. He wanted to do something a little bit more formalized, similar to the European swimming pools, natural swimming pools. So my thought is to do a deck coming off of the home, having an overhanging deck, almost like a dock, so it'd match what you have over there on the other side of the home, but then dropping down into some very clean, either wooden or block walls that'll go down very, very quickly. So that'll allow us to get to some deeper water, 4 to 5 feet. I don't know, you think you need more than that depth-wise?
I like 5.5 feet.
5.5 feet it'll be. So
that's fine. My wife is 5.5 feet, so we need a shallower spot for her. But I like 5.5 feet.
She will not be happy. Yes, all right. So we can do that though. We can have a deep spot. We want to have a lot of areas around the outside perimeter to showcase some of your prize water lilies. But then on the back side of that, I want to go from these clean formal lines to more naturalistic, because that's what you have here. So it's like we're going to go from this clean architectural look that's going to mimic the home, and then it's going to start to fragment itself out, and we're going to do clusters of big boulders and logs. And I saw you had some incredible cypress root flares that we could actually incorporate in as well. Those are perfect environments for doing all types of marginal aquatic plants. The other thing I like about this is there's a slight elevation change. For Florida, that's not very common. Like, you're very, very flat here, but we have a little bit of elevation change. I want to have an elevated wetland filtration system. That'll be the heart of the filter. You said you want to put some of your really unique exotic fish in here.
Yes.
So we will over-filter the water. So we'll come up with a very large wetland filtration system, but this filter is aerobic. So it requires dissolved oxygen. So what I want to have happen is a waterfall cascading out of that filter, going under some sort of a bridge connection that you mentioned that you might like the look of, and then it will return to the pond. I think the pumps and everything will be located over to the, that is south? South. To the south of us, that's west. Got to get my bearings correct over on this property. But I think it's going to be a really unique melding of a lot of these different disciplines. I think it'll mimic the architecture that we have, but then over here in the background, it'll just become this wild type of a look, and it'll be able to showcase a wide variety of your plantings.
Oh, well, that sounds fantastic.
Well, I think we got our work cut out for us. I'm going to go back to the office. I'll do a series of sketches, some cross-sectional drawings, get some of those elevations in place. Once I have that, I'll be able to kind of break down of all the different components that we're going to need, so we could actually get somewhat of a rough budget price for all of this. Then my next step is going to be coming back in January, which is many months from now, to actually start construction. And I'm hoping the weather is a little bit cooler than it is going to be here today.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. This is going to be an incredible transformation.
Then we're going to get a whole bunch of water lilies, bring them down to Kamp Kenan, and tomorrow we're going to install them in the pond.
This water lily collection that you have is unbelievable. So this is similar to the same stuff that you supplied last year for Bush Wildlife, but I'm more excited because this is going to Kenan's.
Yes, we're going to get 6 of the biggest lilies I have here. We're going to bring down there some beautiful purples and blues and pinks, maybe a night bloomer, and of course the big Victoria lily.
I can't wait. This is going to be amazing because it will completely transform his pond.
Look, what do you say, Caesar?
That's beautiful.
Look, we grew these for Kamp Kenan, gigantic lilies, maybe 6-8 feet across.
Yeah, this is beautiful. That's too big.
Let's get the Amazons.
Oh. Maybe not here. See?
Caesar, what happened to the Amazons?
There's a lot of disease.
What happened, man? I go to Chicago and they look great.
Yeah.
How often you come and look at this?
No, this coming back.
What happened?
Look at this. There's a lot of maybe. I don't know. There's different kinds of animal. I don't know what it is.
You didn't spray these with Roundup, did you?
No. I don't do it. Use a Roundup.
Okay, this is what we need to do. Let's take these, pot them into bigger pots with the fertilizer, put them in this other pond.
That one.
Yes. Then, to bring the Kamp Kenan, we got to go to the big pond, get one of the big, giant Amazon lilies out of the big pond, and you're going to have to do whatever you have to do, and we're going to have to bring it to Kenan's.
Why do you put that one in the box? It's pretty big.
This is what you do, Caesar. You, can you find a bigger box? Can you find, yes you can.
I already told Sergio the different boxes. All the boxes the same size in the bottom.
You got to get this. Got to get this to South Florida. You got to get this. Just figure it out. Here, go like this. this.
Wait.
We can make it work.
So what does that weigh?
Caesar. Caesar, what does that weigh?
Man, it's pretty heavy. All right.
Here, do this. So we can take this, put the plastic in the truck, put the lily on top, and just come up like this.
All right.
Yeah, and you get it a piece.
Hey everybody, we're here. Cheese.
Well, I didn't think we were going to get that last Amazon lily for a minute, but I think we got it. We got everything loaded into the pickup truck. I'm going to go get Ed in his hotel room in the morning, and we're going to head on down to Kamp Kenan. We will see you next week, and don't forget to like and subscribe.